that I feel that they should have named the person because...
Amen! Hey ladies and gentlemen, the whole issue that I'm going to talk about today is Meghan. About the interviews that she did with Oprah, that's so polemic. Everybody is talking about it because she has a mental situation, the stress and everything, and she wants to point something out. In the US, she said something quite supposedly horrible, and everybody is looking to UK for some answer. So the whole thing is she's kind of like half-blood, you know, like a mix. Almost like my skin color, but a little lighter. And everybody seems to believe that when her baby is born with this white man, which is son of kings and everything, she's gonna put like a dent in the color of the family.
And also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What?
Which for me is gonna be like a meme that's gonna last for generations.
Somebody touch my spaghetti!
What?
So now after she said that, a lot of people are in an uproar, we're gonna defend her, bada beam, bada boom. But the question I keep seeing is, why are we not allowed to ask and worry the repercussion a baby might have about their appearance? People are usually curious about the whole situation, but just because they ask it in a way that you feel subjectively attacked, it doesn't mean they're attacking you. Sometimes they're generally curious, and it's like watching a movie in the wrong subtitle of the wrong dubbed language. It might sound stupid aggressive because you translate in the direct language, but if you think about it, what they might ask is so natural that they don't even realize it's offensive. I will point it out in this conversation that you see Piers Morgan having with this half-blood. Half-blood sounds so bad, Harry Potter style. But my point is that he is mixed and he had some issues. And he points something out. And he keeps repeating certain things that I would never do.
And why the Meghan interview really resonates with me is because an ex-work colleague, not of this show, asked me if I was worried about the shade of cocoa that my son was going to come out.
Right.
So I fully understand the hurt that is behind all of that.
Right. Let me ask...
And when you're mixed race, what you find, in my personal experience, and there may be other people that may come forward and say this, is that when you are a lighter shade of black, people gain confidence and feel that they can say things to you that they wouldn't say to a black person.
That's such an interesting point.
And that is my experience of all of this.
Right. And by the way, I completely respect that.
But I just want you also to be aware of the power of your words. And I'm not saying that you're a racist, but what I do...
What are you saying?
Do you know what I honestly feel? I feel as though because of your previous relationship with Meghan Markle, you've sometimes...
I didn't have a relationship with Meghan
But you met
Markle.
up with her, you knew her...
I knew her briefly.
Right, so we've joked about it on the show.
All that did was... So I'm allowed to speak.
OK, talk.
All that did was inform me that she's a bit of a cut and run.
Right.
Right, throughout her life,
and
all her family, her father...
Yes.
Her ex-husband, her ex-friends,
right.
they've all been cut out of her life, right?
And
it's an interesting observation that I happen to be one of those people.
An interesting observation, but I do feel
can I finish
this
the sentence,
situation that you are struggling...
Guys, if we're going to have this conversation...
You've got to let me talk.
I talk.
Right. Can we talk about the programme? It doesn't really matter what I think of Meghan Markle. It doesn't matter whether I believe her or not. What matters is the damage that she is accused of doing to the royal family. And let me ask you honestly, on the issue of race, she has now got the whole of America and the worst of the world, frankly, looking upon the palace, the monarchy, the Queen, everyone in the royal family as a bunch of racists. And it all comes down to two things that she said in the interview. One is something she didn't hear, but Harry reported back to her, that a senior member of the royal family that wasn't the Queen or Prince Philip, so presumably is either Charles or William, we would hazard a guess, has made a comment to Harry about what colour skin his baby may be.
Did I have an issue when my baby would be born because I'm going to have a baby with a white woman? Yes. Because I did think about if my baby is going to be born in a country where there were more white people, I thought, hey, he's gonna get discriminated. It might be an issue. Mentally, I wasn't ready for that. I already had my own issues from the past that I conquered, but I wasn't ready to see it being experienced by a child that looks like me, like a level 1 version of myself. Black. That would hurt. And he will experience the stuff that I have experienced about 20 years ago. It's totally different than compared what kids are experiencing now. So people older than me think even worse. Worse. And it's not that they're racist, it's just that they have this mentality of thinking, well, I don't want to be part of have something in my family that I know is going to suffer. I know it's a weird point of view, but it is what it is. Nobody wants that. I've seen, if you have a baby with a black guy or a black woman, whatever, he's gonna be super dark, or he will not get good hair, or he might get good teeth, strength, big penis. I've heard everything with all the advantages of disadvantages. I've seen people, what? Look at that family. Look how fat they are. You want to go with that person that have fat genes. You can have a baby with a fat gene. There's everything is 6. But by my point of view, what people have to do is live their own life. Prove them wrong. That's it. It's so simple. And that's what I find very annoying about this society. Whenever somebody asks something, it's immediately, why would you ask? It's not the point. That's how people learn, by questioning racist situations so they can inform themselves. So the fact that they asked this question with Harry and not her because they knew she's gonna be like, oh my god, my heart's gonna break. Of course they asked him because, like, how do you feel? Are you mentally prepared? You know we are in UK. You have special people. You see all the documents already talk about the baby. Are you worried? Worried. I don't think that's such a big question. And even if it was negative, he could have just said, yo man, I'm gangster. I'm gonna protect you. I will do my best and I will treat my red-haired black man the best thing I can do. Even if he looks white. I don't even care. But you go tell your wifo, and your wifo is gonna be like, let's go to the media. If she isn't the leader, why did she talk first with Oprah and then Harry came in? I don't know, man. Something doesn't fit with me. And the fact that you say the whole information, well, they said it. Woo. I'm not gonna say it. Nah. That's like a girl going to a school, somebody raped me. This school is bad. Who did that? I'm not gonna say it, but I'm gonna talk to the media. That's defamation. You have to finish the story. Lord of the Rings, but you're gonna skip chapter 5 till 7 and it's just gonna be like, well, Sauron is the bad guy. No, you need to tell me something.
If the relationship progresses.
Okay, but there was concern about the way in which that question was asked.
That's my question for you. She said there was concern. Harry didn't say that.
Which is kind of weird.
Because you've been in this position, right? And you've been equally offended.
On the receiving end of that question.
Is there a qualitative difference between somebody perhaps innocently saying to you, out of interest, if you have one parent is white, one parent is black, you know, what colour could your baby be? Let me finish. What colour could your baby be? Is there a difference between that question phrased in that innocent, perhaps, way, and somebody doing it in a tone that says, well, how dark is your baby going to be?
Well, I think,
in a derogatory, perhaps racist
right,
tone.
Exactly, and there is a difference. But what we're getting from the interview is that it was said in a negative way.
She said that, but he didn't, did he?
Listen, stop separating Harry and Meghan.
He's going to say they are together. There is a team. So we always have to look at the negative. Why can't we look at the positive? It doesn't make any sense. And that's what bothers me.
They are a team, quite clearly.
Yeah.
A very strong team. And I do believe that she backs him up and he backs her up.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and like I said, tone and language is everything.
But is there a
when it was said
but let me ask
when
you,
it was
on
said
that
to
point,
me,
is there a difference?
the key word was, are you worried?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But that to me is
and
racist.
there's a big difference.
That to me is racist.
But that's what she
It is racist.
reports.
Do you think it's
She
racist?
reports
It's a legitimate
concern.
question many people have asked. Is it racist, you think, if for argument's sake it was William or Charles? Let's not put a name to this person. We don't know. And part of the problem, and I know you agree with me about this, it'd be easier if they just said who it was.
Right.
Right? I'll come to that. But is there a difference? If it was said, perhaps in all innocence, right, and they just said, oh, what colour baby might you have, without any suggestion of it being a concern or a worry if it had darker skin, would that in itself, would just the question be racist?
That in itself is fine, but you have to think about how it feels on the receiving end, because what we're speculating is how...
It is... The amount of time people ask me, how would your baby look like? Do you worry? I'm like, no, I don't worry. Unless my baby is blonde or Chinese. No, because I know those two futures, I don't have it in my wife or me. The rest I do have. That's why my baby was super white. Because I have also a little whiteness in me. Some little Irish somewhere in my family were funky in those slave times back in the day on the island, which I learned about the Irish. And they know they were slave back in the day. Guess what? Before my African people, they were Irish. The Irish woman with the black mans and the funky made mulattoes because they were my blood type, so they could control the temperature better. They were supposed to be stronger, and they said, "Oh, we need to make more slave with these Irish women," and that's what I did.
As to how that message...
Yeah, I don't know how it was communicated.
Right,
but what I would say to you is, if it was done as a worry or concern...
We also have to take into consideration how it felt. The other thing that we also have to think about, and I've publicly said this on Twitter, Piers, I agree with you now that I feel that they should have named the person, because...
Everybody says that. Name the freaking person, man. You gotta name the person. You cannot put the biggest bombshell out there and just point in the direction of a country. I don't know. It's too ninja. That's like say, yeah, the Nine Tails is in that village. Who is the Jinkuri? Or a Genin, you know? There's a bunch of Genins. You're gonna kill all the Genins?
All it's led to is all of us asking loads of questions, and I personally am looking at the royal family as to which one could
Who's
it be.
the racist, yeah.
Who's the racist? But again, we have to also just take a step back. Do you know how much courage it takes to actually speak about racism, to actually call it out?
I'm not gonna deny that part. It takes a lot of cojones to go out and say something about this whole situation. A very good example is in Holland, for example, when I was studying, I needed to lend some money from the bank so I can buy a computer and be able to do something because I was freaking poor and I didn't have enough money to build one for myself. So I went to the bank and I told the bank, hey, can you lend me some money? And explained them the whole situation, my issue. They told me no. And you remember, you know what I did? Oh my God, that's racist. And I went tell one of my friends, Dad, that's racist. I hate this country. I will never be able to finish my study, bada beam, bada boom. And they asked me, what the heck did you say? I explained him. And he told me, you're a freaking dumb... Yeah. And I felt kind of offended, like, yo, gee, you're going to be gangster about that too? And then he was like, yo, you're in freaking Holland. If you go to a bank where most people are kind of posh, go there, speak Dutch in a posh way and ask for your money. You're in their country. If somebody comes gangster at you and asks you, lend me some money, you're not gonna trust him, right? No, I'm not gonna trust him. Will you trust your own people? No, I will not. So why the heck are you going with your half-ass Dutch asking for a bunch of money? Go, ask for the money, don't tell your story, and they will give you the money. And I thought, is it that simple? I went and I asked, can you give me 1,000 euro? And it was like, yes, Gucci, bye. And it was like, what? So I realized people are racist, but it's very subjective racism because they trust people that look like them in the way they live, their lifestyle. It's not that racist about it. It's very subjective. If I'm going to pin some money, I'm going to pin the money and look back behind me to look at anybody that looks suspicious. I don't care if you're white or black, but if you have gangster clothes on and you're like, I don't trust you. Maybe you think you're in a 50 Cent movie and you're just walking behind me, but for me, like, you're robbing me.
And there will be people that will treat Harry and Meghan differently because they've spoken out.
Okay.
But this is the whole thing. We got to get comfortable talking about the uncomfortable. And that's why it's important for me and you to have this conversation.
Right, but let's just not make it personal then. It's fine.
It's not...
You made it personal. But let's move on
you know
from
what?
that.
It's hard because,
Alex?
you know what, we talk...
Discussing each other's subjective deals, you're not going to get far anyway. Just go with the fact. Mention the name, try to find out why they say it, and see if it was said as a bad way or not. That's it. Simple. Don't talk about subjective stuff. This is saying, what's the definition of subjective of racism?
Meghan Markle said that there was a decision taken by the palace to stop Archie being a prince based on his potential skin colour. That is completely untrue. That's just not true. Now, the damaging effect of that, plus whatever may have been said to Harry, and we don't know what it was or the context, and we don't know who said it, but it was those two things have detonated as you know, a racially charged bomb at the palace, which is almost impossible for them to refute because they don't talk in public about this kind of thing. And people aren't probably going to believe them even if they do now. But that's what concerns me, is that the first part of that allegation, we don't know any of the details or who said it or how they said it. And the second one is completely untrue. Meghan just got it wrong. Archie hasn't been prevented from being a prince because of his skin colour. And that's been now believed by Americans on national television there. And that is damaging.
I hate to quote my perceptions. If my perception was true, my wife is racist. My baby is racist. Oh, I can't even say what he said last time. He learned something new. Is he racist?
We can't have a racist king.
We can't.
So that, to me, would be racism. If it was said wrong. But the second part of the charge, that Archie has been banned from being a prince because of his skin colour, is just untrue. It's nothing to do with racism. The fact itself on which he's based that claim is not true.
Except her perception appears to be that it might have been
Well, it's like me saying the sky's blue
by
outside.
race.
My perception is it's raining. You can't...
So in my experience, when people treat me like a dumb black man, I just pretend as if it doesn't affect me and I do my thing. And usually it's like I win them over. Just like this dude did in his TED Talk. He was talking about how he converted somebody from the Ku Klux Klan to be his friend. And he slowly got together with him. So he went to his shows, listened, talked, did all his thing, and in a respectful way, they kept meeting, get closer and closer, and just start talking about family and stuff and all those stuff. And slowly they became like better friends. Like literally they became friends because the barrier was removed. He was telling a very stupid story, which was quite amazing. He met this dude in a room. They were not the racist one, the Ku Klux Klan, did not know he was coming. So when he came into the meeting room, they were already defensive with guns and everything, ready to shoot. But it was like, no, I just want to talk. I just want to ask you a few questions. Bada beam, bada boom. So like I believe he was there. Secretary, racist bodyguard. So 4 people or something. They're talking bada beam, bada bam, bada boom. But suddenly when they were talking, something sounded like chaklang. And everybody was like, whoa. So there's like a hidden door. Something is gonna open. Everybody ready with their guns. And the black guy was saying, they're gonna shoot me right now. And he asked the racist people what they should do, or vice versa. But the point is, everybody had that peekaboo kabooby moment, like Bambi, flashlight in the eye. Ooh, what the heck? And nobody knew what was happening. And then they realized they were talking so long, there was like an ice bucket filled with ice. And because all the drinks were in there, it melted. And it did some jiggling because it happened again. And they noticed where the sound came from. And they all started laughing. And by that moment, he realized the barrier has broken. And since then, the conversation slowly became chill. The racists visit the black man more, sometimes without the bodyguard. He says, it's okay, nothing is gonna happen. I don't need to kill this dude. He seems kind of chill. And he invited the black man to his show. And he went there and he broke racism. He made it normal, and the racist dude gave his racist clothes to the black man to commemorate, like, hey man, you're a good friend. You convinced me with love. Like Naruto style, I will convince you, you're my friend. And it is possible, you know. But that's my point. The way Meghan and Harry, for me, the way they're trying to handle it, it's covert, reverse anti-racism. So they're doing it right, but it's too covert. So now that you do it too covert, nobody knows where you're coming from.
Don't get me wrong, ma cosa kita bong. Put a fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk criollo colombici jam jam turloqueta verdeta welcome.